In this tutorial video, you will learn how to use the following two information layers: sea ice concentration and sea surface temperature. By clicking on the sea ice concentration button, you can download an Arctic or Antarctic-wide information layer, depending on whether you have the Arctic or Antarctic map open. The download size ranges from 120 kilobytes for a 6-kilometer resolution to 1.6 megabytes for a 3-kilometer resolution. Check the timestamp in the legend at the lower left corner to ensure you are viewing recent sea ice concentration data. If the timestamp is older than a few hours, click the refresh button to download the latest information. The coverage is Arctic-wide, except for a 100-kilometer area around the North Pole, where the AMSR-2 satellite system cannot record data, resulting in a data gap. The sea ice concentration layer is updated up to 8 times a day, depending on the latitude. The color scale ranges from blue, 10% ice concentration, to purple, 100% ice concentration. There are 2 modes available: a 6-kilometer resolution provided by the Japanese Space Agency, and a 3-kilometer resolution with finer pixel sizes, applying another algorithm on the data from the Japanese Space Agency. The 6-kilometer resolution is cleaned of noise and disturbances, while the 3-kilometer version shows more details but also more noise. As long as you are aware of the advantages and disadvantages of this information layer, you can use it effectively for strategic planning. The most important rule is the 10% rule. Sea ice concentrations below approximately 10% are indistinguishable from open water by the satellite sensor. If a 10% ice concentration is a hazard for your vessel, check other data sources, such as satellite images, before considering a region ice-free. An extreme example of the 10% rule is these loose sea ice fields north of Alaska, which do not show up on the sea ice concentration at all. Another important rule is that sea ice concentration might be overestimated near the coast. In the 6-kilometer data, most of this coastal effect is filtered out, but not completely. The coastal effect is not removed in the 3-kilometer data. You can judge the coastal effect in the 3-kilometer data by looking at a completely ice-free coast, such as Iceland. To summarize, sea ice concentration is a polar-wide information layer that is updated several times a day, often providing the most recent information available about sea ice cover. However, due to its coarse resolution, it is more suitable for strategic planning than for tactical navigation. Being aware of its limitations as an automatically created layer is crucial. One of its major uses is comparing sea ice concentrations with satellite images to assist in image interpretation. For instance, to distinguish clouds from ice on optical images, or rough sea from sea ice in radar images. The sea surface temperature layer is updated daily via the Copernicus Marine Service. The temperature, shown in colors, reflects either the ocean surface or sea ice surface temperatures, thus indicating sea ice distribution to some degree. This is evident when comparing sea surface temperature with sea ice concentration. The sea surface temperature layer is Arctic-wide with a download size of 2.5 megabytes and is not available in the Antarctic. It helps assess how close an ocean region is to ice formation. Darker orange areas will probably freeze before yellow regions during winter onset. For lower ice class vessels, it's crucial to react before larger areas freeze around your vessel.